That's not okay. You're gonna get us
Yeah,
in trouble.
fine. It's fine. I'm trying to avoid Kappa.
You have one more time.
Have you ever had an anime ruined for you, like an anime that you never watched be ruined for you because people kept posting fan service before you got the chance to even see it, so you thought it was the next hentai instead? Yeah, that's what happened to me in My Hero Academia for the longest when I saw images and feet pictures. I really disliked the sight of it. Because my mind would go back to the one corrupting image of Rule 34, this small ribbit to my right, which back then I really didn't like you, Asui.
Ribbit.
But she's now best girl in my books. I'm all caught up with the series now. I wanted to tell you the story of how I got into all of it. It's pretty dumb. So, let's get in. Oh, I'm using the guest of honor for this one. Okay, sorry, you go ahead.
Let's get into the video, everybody.
Nice one. So for the longest, and I'm talking about high school 9th grade, my friends would kind of ruin the series for me by showing me what they believed were the funny moments in Boku no Hero episodes, just to try and get me interested. The worst possible character that may be the most not interesting to the eye or voice is who they would show me the friggin' most, and this is possibly the most annoying student character, in my opinion. And this was Mineta. Like, I'm already at this point seeing Mina, thought she was a dude, and I've seen Izuku and Tsuyu Rule 34 enough to be annoyed that this may already be a hentai, so seeing that Mineta came from the exact same series wasn't helping the case at all. Anything he did was already sexual. That, and then there's you. There's these freaky ship pictures of you and Mineta. I'm sorry, I don't ship it. It's so gross to ship him with anyone.
You can't stop what the fans draw.
If it's one scene that was shown that had him in it, but didn't include you, and it was awkward, it would have to be that one training camp arc where Mineta was climbing the wall.
When Mineta fell at Ida and landed on his face, butt first.
Yeah, I hope he didn't lose his glasses in that ass.
Hey, stop cursing.
But then after 9th grade, skipped to 12th when things went from good to great, you know, because I'm using sarcastic terminology because I don't hate it anymore. I was a huge Newgrounds junkie in those years of school. If not Newgrounds, then games, you know, the things bored teens play. Games before it went under had its rating system, but it had similar games to that of Newgrounds. Some games were linked to said platforms, so that was a thing. Sure, I would play the games, but I mostly came there for the art, and every time I typed in the search bar art relating towards magic, maybe even fantasy or superpowers, because those tags I search, I like them, and because of them, I was always being directed to random games and art. Some that stood out involves dating sims, Legends of Zelda, art and games, fantasy art, My Hero art, A-rated games that fail to put the proper freaking tags, so I don't end up making the mistake of clicking on them.
Did you click an A-rated game by mistake?
Little bit. And since you didn't have to have an account to play an A-rated game back then, that was all undesired choice. Thing is, I clicked it because it had an M for mature rating. For games. So I'm thinking, gore. And what's worse is, it was a visual novel game about fighting. So I'm thinking, okay, is a Decide Your Fate violent game for mature people? Games is all about decide your fates. I mean, I wasn't fazed because apparently My Hero is already mature content. So yeah. I had to check. I decided to actually play this game, and when I opened it, there was an 18+ warning. So I'm calling this game's 18+ rating bullspit because My Hero is mature content. So I'm reading, and everything was fine until you get to the option to decide your quirk. There was no name for either of the three. If I can get the chance, I'll put it up on screen, the image of what I mean. It was a option menu of a okay, one was a transparent person, then there's a dizzy person, and there's a simple chain. Apparently there's no right or wrong answer, but I remember clicking the chain because I didn't really know what the others even were. Mind you, I don't know what I'm getting into. So I picked the chain quirk, and I'm up against Midoriya Izuku, so I'm, like, ready for a prompt to decide my next fighting move. Never happened while I was reading on, so I ended up reading a little more until there could possibly be a prompt. Never freaking happened. Reading a little more in the game, I'm at the freaking part where...
Whoa, why did you stop playing?
I wanted the prompt to do something!
Common sense should have kicked it.
Dude,
you know what?
I wasn't...
Okay, everyone watching, just making this clear. Sue's an idiot. This position can only be taken in a negative light.
Wait,
right
hold on,
now.
no. You're the one telling me to stay family friendly.
No, at this point, that side of your mind knows what's about to go down. You should have just logged off the site, played another game.
Yeah, 5 clicks after reading that image prompt, I quit. It was GG. I was not a happy camper. That was the last that I wanted to see of any broccoli boy. So at this time, it was after graduation. I've ignored all types of My Hero up until this point. It wasn't even in the back of my mind anymore, so now it's summer, it's July, and I'm starting this new series called Gazo that I do on my channel and on others' channels occasionally when I'm the audio editor for them if they're on other channels. So, a few months in, and one of the voice actors in the group, one of the few I gained to trust as a Discord best friend, Alan, I'm gonna just say his name. We were talking after the meeting. He asked me what were my favorite animes, and at the time, it was Assassination Classroom, but mostly Overlord, and I still love that anime. It has some odd, cool fantasy elements, real world and mostly fantasy, but I only gave it a chance due to Shoutier. I saw a few cool images of her and her dress style, and I thought, wow, that character's pretty dang cool. What about the rest of the cast? Where's she from? I'm curious. Then there's Mamanga, which was also a cool character.
There are some elements of Overlord that do have odd scenes in them. You do know that they're way worse than My Hero.
Well, yeah, but I was still able to give that a chance because I was more mentally prepared for it and no one ruined it for me prior.
Oh.
So I told him about my fascination in superpower and fantasy-type anime. We talked about some Overlord. Constantly, he told me Fairy Tail was a good anime and that it was highly recommended. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, don't fight me. Then we trashed Sword Art Online. And then I wanted to chop him up and put him in a blender because he brung up something that I forgot. Let me mimic his accent. Have you ever watched My Hero? Don't watch this, Alan! Don't watch this, Alan! You're gonna hate me for that attempt! So I was fed up of being recommended something so much, I had to tell him about my past experience with the snip of the franchise that I was already introduced to. So he basically swore up and down saying that if I gave it a try, I'ma like it. I'ma like it. I will. He said, disregard what your friend showed you in the past. Any other fan game, disregard it.
So what you're saying is Alan was the reason why you got into the series.
Props to that Scotland boy. Next pinpoint. I ended up watching all of My Hero in 4 days, just laying in bed, disregarding my YouTube upload responsibilities, just to watch My Hero seasons 1 through 3. Not once, but twice, because I wanted to get into it with my little brother. So yeah, that was a wholesome move for me. Now, when there's an anime you enjoy, you got a favorite character. And when there's a character, there's ships, and ships or not, there's lore, fan art, fan bases, and more. I just so happen to be on the correct side of Pinterest, Google, and occasionally YouTube when looking for some ships and lore. As much as I like comic dubs and anything pertaining to My Hero now, I was so intrigued on lore leading to who might be Izuku's father. I'm an all-for-one believer, don't fight me and say it's Toshinori. But I was more interested in Class 1A's Tsuyu Asui. Not saying that because you're here right now, but you are best girl. Thing is, what bothers me about Tsuyu fan art, she doesn't get the same, well, maybe she's a side character, but she doesn't get the same amount of attention in the fandom as that of Ochako or Yamamo. Artists I've seen, they venture out to even more rare pair ships. I mean, fan ships such as the ones including Bakugo, Izuku, and Todoroki. See, those don't count because anyone can ship with them because they're doing tags and our main pro tag is Izuku. They can always be shipped if not by almost the entire cast franchise. So, comment things like Bakukiri, Tododeku, Todobakudeku, Sudeku, Momoshoto, Kachako.
Wait, what?
Ochako and Bakugo.
Why?
Because they fought once, everyone shipped it. To be honest, I don't know how I feel about it.
Where are we going with this?
Going towards fan art, which is what I've been doing recently besides YouTube. Some of you guys have noticed that I've been on the My Hero Amino for over a third of a year now. By this time the video goes up, it'll probably be 120 days or something. Some of that sort. I don't know. Editing me just needs to hurry up. But that's why I post most of my art and most of my time plunged into Amino. My YouTube page looks more lazy and ignored. I started Deviant Art a few days ago, where I post all my art there based on My Hero Aka. Specifically the ones that I made for My Hero in 2019. Most of it has Tsuyu in it, because there's just not a lot of Tsu art ships that I really want to see out there.
So I'm gonna...
That, and I'm her on the Amino, so...
I'm gonna assume that at least one of these are a ship picture that you drew.
Well, there are actually 3. We can cycle through some of them on screen. But, this was my first ever My Hero fan art, and don't judge me, I actually shipped you both because I thought it was cute. I made these drawings based on Amino chat room roleplays that I'd be in, so if you guys want me to make a storyboard of that, I am 100% willing to get the voice actors and everything for a comic dub, because some of these need to be explained in some serious background before I get judged really hard.
Wait, there's a story for this one, right?
Yes, don't call me weird because I think Shinzo Tsuyu is a very underappreciated ship.
Is it because he's edgy? Like
I don't ship you with Tokoyami because it's so common, and even if you had a child, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be an animal. I'm trying to give you a chance with Hitoshi. A chance other artists fail to do.
I don't even know him like...
Let me explore, darn it. I was really curious as to what kind of projects casting calls may hold and how many people can sound like the canon characters of My Hero. And I'ma say it now, anyone who can do a proper Izuku voice is a pro hero in my book. Haven't met anyone yet who can do a voice decently, except for this one guy on casting call that I'm gonna go over soon. If it's one thing I like hearing, it's the attempts of others on casting calls, sometimes to secretly judge them or sometimes to just upvote and comment to them. There's always a spark of joy that makes me feel that they're just as big of a fan as me. Well, there's one guy who can nail a Izuku voice pretty darn well, and I end up finding him auditioning for
You worry. This
Listen,
worries me.
it's what one of my friends showed me, and hear me out. So I was asking my friend, let's call her Lemon, if she knew any casting calls for My Hero Academia, and she sent me 6. Of course, I looked up the ones that were small and didn't have a lot of voice actors on it first before going to that said one. But when I clicked it and opened it to an even bigger title page...
Did you X out the tab?
Nope. She told me to listen to the most upvoted Izuku voice actor.
Oh, for the love of
As
God.
of then, it had 21 upvotes and his screen name was Turbo Tomato. Now, despite him having to be 18 to audition, he is a 17-year-old. We've checked this on his CCC profile. He auditioned and it was... what he had to say was funny. Listen, he did something different. Take a listen. But I'm just going to scroll up here so you guys can see what he's supposed to say. So okay, I hope one day I get to know this guy. At least he has his standards. Okay, let's go.
Hey, what's up? My name's Tomato. I'm gonna be auditioning for Izuku Midori. Let's go. I'm really glad you wanted to come out with me today. It made me happy. Woo! Yeah, nailed it. Okay, next line. Wait! I don't think we should. What? Do you really want to? Well, I guess we can. Yeah, I can do this. Whew, okay. Next line. Do you like it? Does it feel good? What the fuck? Nah. What the fuck? Nah! Bro! What? No! Nah, I'm putting down the heads. What the fuck? Does it feel good? Yeah, I'm good. Ah! Bro! This shit's gay! I don't roll that shit, my guy! That's fucking gay! What? Oh, wait, don't do No! Why? You sick human being!
I don't roll that shit. Me and that one Izuku voice actor from casting call, freaking gay!
That's not okay. You're gonna get us
Yeah,
in trouble.
fine. It's fine. I'm trying to avoid Kappa.
You have one more time.
I'm still doing fan art, and I wanted to make it to where it would be possible to start adding comic dubs to my channel about My Hero, as strange as it is. I'm making a poll for it, if that's what you guys want. This would take the family-friendly and throw it out the channel just a little. Since My Hero is mature, I'm going to have to at least make the content 13 plus. To be honest with you, I want to run away from gacha and only do that for Cory Kenshin videos at most, story times, or Gazo, but I know I'll miss a lot of things pertaining to gacha.
Even though it's the redheaded stepchild of the art community.
But the most I'll keep is my stories, my satire, Cory Kenshin, and Gazo along with gacha, so don't worry about that. But still, a big shift to something that's been family-friendly for some years to more 13 plus is, in my opinion, kind of hard to think about. What do you think?
I'm thinking about it right now.
Anyways, don't forget to click the bell. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Yeah, Icy's not here.
Wait, I got this. Tsuyu signing out.
Go beyond, plus ultra!